An animal fantasy is a made-up story about animals doing things that people do. The student model on the next page is an example of an animal fantasy. Let's read the student model over here. They named it The Big Problem. Little Mouse wanted cheese. Cat was in the kitchen. Little Mouse remembered. Big Mouse had said what to do. Wait until Cat is sleeping, grab a bit of cheese, run. Little Mouse did. So we can tell that this story is an animal fantasy because the mice talk and think like people. And that's not something mice would do in real life. They came up with a problem. So the characters were Little Mouse and Cat, and then they mentioned Big Mouse. And then the problem was right here in this first sentence. Little Mouse wanted cheese, but Cat was in the kitchen. So then they had to come up with a way to solve the problem. And the way they solved the problem was they said that Little Mouse remembered what Big Mouse said. And then they told us what Big Mouse had said to do. Wait until Cat is sleeping, grab a bit of cheese, and run. So down here, the end of the story tells us that the mouse solved the problem because it says Little Mouse did. So that tells me that he waited until Cat was sleeping. He went and grabbed a bit of cheese and he ran. Okay. Now, one thing that we're going to include in our animal fantasy writing today is an imperative sentence. So an imperative sentence tells someone what to do. So in this yellow box, the imperative sentence is, come back, little chick. What are we telling someone to do? We're telling them to come back. And who are we telling to come back? We're telling the little chick to come back. So let's look back at this student model. What were we telling? What was being told in this story? Who was telling someone what to do? So it was Big Mouse because it says Big Mouse had said what to do. And then what did he tell Little Mouse? He told Little Mouse, wait until Cat is sleeping, grab a bit of cheese, and run. So when you write your animal fantasy today, I want you to use this writer's checklist, and I will put a picture of it where you do your activity. But the things I want you to remember is that your animal fantasy should have animals do things that real animals cannot do, like run, or not run. Lots of animals can run, but like talk or cook or something that animals can't do. Then you want to show the animal solving a problem, and you need to use an imperative sentence, which means you need to use a sentence where the sentence tells someone to do something. Okay? So those are the three things you're going to be sure to include in your writing, along with capital letters at the beginning and for names, punctuation marks like periods, question marks, exclamation points at the end of sentences, good finger spacing if you're writing it on paper, or using spaces on the keyboard if you're typing. Okay? And do your best first grade spelling. It doesn't have to be spelled perfect. You just need to sound out those sounds. And if you spell that way, I'll be able to see what your writing says. Okay? So please X out and head back to Seesaw, and you can write your animal fantasy. Have fun being today.